Hello, and welcome to our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and today my guest is Thille, and she is the Executive Director of the Discovery Center for Science and Technology. That's a mouthful. Anne, please tell us what that's all about.
Thank you, MB, for having me today. So the Discovery Center for Science and Technology, which yes, that is a big mouthful, it has been around for 25 years, and they're an outreach program. Mostly we go out to classrooms, community events throughout Ventura County to bring science to the classroom.
Okay.
We do a mobile planetarium. It's this huge black dome that fills with air, and it's kind of like the Griffith Observatory, but smaller. And we do science nights and different things. But with COVID-19, we've had to rethink, remodel, and come up with a new plan to still be relevant in the community and to our students. And so I came up with the idea of putting together science bags. And each science bag has 20 activities with all the little materials that you need for each experiment. And there's instructions, the materials, and we've distributed over 2,700 out throughout Ventura County. And Ventura Unified School District is going to be implementing it in its after-school programs at the 10 peak sites.
Wow.
It's really exciting. And I'm trying to get them something, because I know right now there's a lot of screen time with virtual classroom. And so I was looking for some science that's fun, that's meaningful, that can step away from the computer.
That's fantastic. So I didn't really give you any forewarning, but could you perhaps describe a certain really super fun little project that you've recently done to give us a feeling for what these young people are fortunate enough to experience?
So the favorite one that everybody does, I don't know if I can do it fast enough.
That's okay.
I should have pre-built one. We use craft sticks and rubber bands, and we build a catapult. And we launch these great little foams. And when the students do it, they learn that if they adjust the rubber bands a certain way, they can go higher, they can go farther. And we found the perfect launch material because this will launch all the way across the room. And they think it's great. So they're learning about trajectory, they're learning about science, but they're also, with all the science activities we do, we talk about trial and error.
Yes.
Sometimes the first time you put it together, it doesn't work. I've done a few of those. It doesn't work. And so you have to sit down and think about why it didn't work. Was it user error? Was it, I was doing a gummy bear experiment. And I don't know if I told you about it, but there's a polymer lesson where you can take gummy bears and you put one gummy bear in distilled water and you put one gummy bear in tap water. And because the distilled water is so pure, the water can pass through the cell and the gummy bear gets ginormous. In the tap water, the bear's not supposed to grow as much because it has salts and other minerals in the water.
Interesting.
And I did the experiment and both gummy bears became huge.
Oh, great.
And I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized I used my filtered water from the RO unit. So it was just as pure. So it was user error.
Yeah. And the experiment actually worked. You just had to figure out why it was working so good.
Right. And so it's just a matter of figuring out when something doesn't work, why it doesn't work. But all the lessons we try and do are simple, but are fun. And they reach a broad range of students. I think we're hitting kindergarten through fifth graders mostly.
That was going to be my next question. How do people, is it that the Discovery Center outreaches to institutions, or do institutions reach out to you, or how does that work?
It's a little bit of both, but mostly it's outreach. We're reaching out to different organizations. These kits have gone to several places. We've gone to after-school programs, Boys and Girls Club, Kids and Family Foster, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the YMCA, just trying to get to places where we can have the most outreach and impact until everyone's back in school again.
Right. Okay, if I had a blank check in my pocket, which I don't, to hand to you for the Discovery Center, what would you do with it? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in this time of COVID-19, but what's your vision, if there is one?
Now you're gonna make me really think. I think ideally when we get back, I don't want to say normal because I don't know. I think the world's going to be
When
different
things
moving
change
forward.
again. Yeah, when things change again.
But when things change again, when we can gather again for the family science nights,
Mm.
I would. I mean, a lot of the activities are really fun and simple, but use everyday household items. And I think I'd kind of like to step it up to the next level and raise the bar on some of the activities that we challenge the students with.
Wow.
I
Go ahead.
I like to. I mean, you've met me in different roles in teaching and being with students and children, and I always like to raise the challenge and raise the bar when I'm working with students, whether it was with nutrition or at the museum or with science, of not trying to make it super basic, but really challenge them to think and take it up to the next level.
Yeah, raise the bar.
Use those big vocabulary words.
That sounds so scientific and great. Okay, well, how do people get in touch with you, Ann?
They can go to our website, www.discoverycntr.org. It's center with no E's.
Okay.
Or they can email me at Thille, Thille, at discoverycntr.org.
That sounds incredible. It's so important that learning is fun. As a hands-on person myself, I mean, I know that's not very profound of a statement, but in thinking about science and as a former student, I don't remember any science experiments that I ever did. Okay, so I, for one, have got to hook into the center, to the Discovery Center, and tag along as one of your assistants again when we can meet again as people.
Well, and I like to do things like the strawberry DNA extraction lab, which I've done for many years in different roles, and it's a college class. It's a class that it's an experiment that you do in college.
Wow.
And I do it with elementary students, beginning with kindergartners, and people ask, and I said, do they get the whole lesson? They might not get the whole lesson, but if I ask them, DNA determines the color of my hair, or if I'm tall or short, and then I turn the questions over to them and they can answer. They can tell me different things that DNA is doing, and they might not understand all the concepts, but then when they're in high school or college and they're doing the lesson again, they're gonna go, I did this in kindergarten. and there'll be there's that little connection.
It's very easy for humans to stop thinking that they are part of nature and ultimately are nature, and that we're just one little chunk of nature. And I think that curiosity and insight is invaluable. So I want to say personally, thank you for doing what you're doing. And yeah, this has been Our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.